Welcome to FPL Cheat Sheet Briefing, the podcast that gives you a data-driven edge in the Fantasy Premier League.
And today, you are joining us for a really crucial session. We're going to be doing a deep dive, analyzing the optimal data-generated teams for Game Week 16.
That's right. We're breaking down the wild card, the free hit, and of course, that high-risk, high-reward differentials wildcard strategy.
And then we have a really important Q&A section at the end.
It has been a whirlwind, really, since our last full deep dive back in Game Week 12. The Premier League schedule has just been absolutely relentless.
It really has. A true test of squad depth and rotation. We've had to just push out the key team suggestions on X in the meantime.
Just to keep up, how have you been? I feel like I haven't come up for air. It's just been watching games and running the FPL cheat sheet tool.
That's been in my life for a month. A constant loop of fixtures and, refreshing player status feeds. It's been chaos.
Well, I've managed by just trusting the process, leaning on the model's output, and looking ahead to this monstrous Game Week 16.
It feels like Christmas has come early for FPL managers.
But it's wrapped in a massive tactical dilemma.
You are referring, of course, to the biggest transfer news of the season so far?
Exactly. And you should definitely stick around because we are dedicating a substantial Q&A session at the end of this deep dive to that exact topic. The 5 new free transfers.
The AFCON transfers.
Yep, the ones that have suddenly appeared in your account. It's a game changer, but it's also immense pressure, and we have the data on how to use them best.
Absolutely vital knowledge. But before we look forward, we have to look back. We need to do a retrospective of our Game Week 15 predictions.
Right. We need to dissect where the model got it right and where it failed pretty spectacularly.
Let's start with that failure then, because Game Week 15 was a stark lesson in FPL risk. If you went with the data-driven wildcard team.
Oof. It was unfortunately terrible.
It's just terrible. We were looking at a solid 63 expected points.
And it delivered a dismal 35 actual points. That's well below the average of 49.
And this wasn't a case of just, bad picks across the board. It was a single critical flaw.
Budget concentration.
Exactly. When you invest so heavily in one premium asset and that asset blanks, the whole thing collapses.
And the primary culprit, and I felt this one deep in my soul as an owner, was Captain Haaland blanking for a meager 2 points.
It's just devastating. And it forces us to ask that crucial question, doesn't it? Is the current landscape changing?
Are we seeing the end of that mandatory 2 premium structure that's defined FPL for so long?
It certainly felt that way. Now, there was one shining light.
Vice Captain Cherki. He performed beautifully with 12 points. A serious return for a differential pick on a team that otherwise just fell flat.
Okay, so now let's pivot to this success story, the free hit team from Game Week 15.
This was the complete opposite. An excellent performance. It hit 76 actual points.
Which significantly beat the 67.5 expected points prediction.
And this is where the data solver really shows its value, The free hit team hit the jackpot by deliberately spreading the budget.
Right, it had Haaland, but it was the players around him that delivered. Cherki, again, with 12 points.
Gordon with 10, De Kuyper with 8, O'Reilly with 6.
Even Pickford in goal with 6 points. It just shows that maximizing value dispersion, spreading the budget, it really worked.
It confirms we were underestimating the power of those in-form, mid-price players.
And that brings us to the third team, the Differentials Wildcard.
This one, targeting players under 15% ownership, was absolutely spot on. It delivered 61 actual points against a predicted 59.62.
That's just incredible accuracy. It shows the engine's power when it targets those low ownership gems right before they explode.
And again, the central force was value. Cherki was captain in this team.
Doubled to 24 points. Just phenomenal. And his teammate, Gyökeres, also had an outstanding game week with 12 points.
So the lesson from Game Week 15 seems to be that budget concentration is dangerously risky.
Which leads us to what the data suggests for Game Week 16. We are looking at teams that explicitly move away from that reliance on 2 huge names.
Okay, let's jump straight into it. The Game Week 16 wildcard team analysis.
Right. This team has a total value of $99.3 million. The starting 11 is projected to hit a strong 60 expected points.
And if you were to use a bench boost, the full 15 would generate 72 expected points.
Now here's the big one, the moment of truth that might define the new meta.
When I first saw this output, I was genuinely shocked. The model-generated wildcard team features the absence of both Haaland and Salah.
Both of them. Gone. And it's not because we can't afford them. The solver is telling us to deliberately ignore the 2 highest expected points players in the game.
So,
It's the definitive answer to that structural question from Game Week 15. The model is saying that safety and predictability across the whole 11 generates higher cumulative expected points than that high-variance premium gamble.
So you're trading the explosive ceiling of 2 players for a much higher, more stable floor across the whole team.
Exactly. Dropping Haaland and Salah frees up about 24 million. We use that to upgrade, say, a 4 million defender to a 6 million one and 2 6 million midfielders to 8 million ones. Those 3 upgrades combined give you more stable points.
That makes the shift from concentration to dispersion crystal clear. So who gets the captaincy? Because this is also a bit of a high-risk move.
Palmer, just back from injury, but at home against Everton, he has an excellent 7.28 expected points.
The model is very comfortable with that pick.
Extremely. It's not just his own expected points, it's Everton's defensive weaknesses and, Chelsea's high chance of getting penalties. The vice-captain is Saka with 6.95 expected points.
And we see a heavy investment in the Arsenal core.
Well, their fixture run is just incredible, isn't it?
No.
Wolves at home, Everton away, Brighton at home, Aston Villa at home.
So that's why we're seeing Saka at 10.2 million, Eze at 7.8 million, and Gyökeres at 8.8 million. It's guaranteed access to returns for the next month.
And to keep that Man City exposure without the Haaland price tag, the model picks Gvardiol, O'Reilly, and Cherki. High potential, fraction of the cost.
We also see Fernandes, who just hauled in there from Man United at 9 million, and the rising star Thiago from Brentford at 6.9 million up front.
For keepers, we have Pickford and Petrovic. It's a structurally balanced squad built entirely on maximizing that dispersion of expected points.
Okay, let's move on. The Game Week 16 free hit team.
Right, with the free hit, we're using the full 100 million budget. We only care about this one game week. The starting 11 is also projected for 60 expected points, with the full squad hitting 70.
And what's fascinating here is the conviction the data has in our midfield.
It's identical, isn't it?
The spine is exactly the same as the wildcard team. Saka, Palmer, Eze, Cherki, and Fernandes. That just reinforces how strong these 5 picks are for this specific game week.
The difference is in attack and defense, where you can be a bit more aggressive. Thiago's still there, but the model opts for Isak at 10.4 million from Liverpool.
Instead of Gyökeres.
Right. Isak has a high rating for his fixture. And we've also got Pirro from Leeds at 5 million on the bench, just to use the whole budget.
And we get some extra ticks on defense, too. Timber from Arsenal at 6.5 million comes in to join Chalobah and O'Reilly.
And in goal, the model selects Sanchez at 4.8 million for his home game against Everton. It's a very robust free hit team.
Right, finally, let's look at the high-risk, high-reward option, the Game Week 16 Differentials Wildcard Team.
Remember, this is built with a maximum 15% total selected by. This is not for the faint of heart.
But it's designed to shoot you up the ranks fast.
The mission is clear. Get players before their price and ownership skyrocket. The team's value is 99.8 million, and the starting 11 is predicted to hit 55 expected points.
Which is an excellent baseline for a differential squad. The full 15 hits 70 expected points.
The model is basically screaming, get them early. Palmer, even at 10.3 million, is captained here. His ownership is just 10% because of his recent injury.
That's huge differential potential before he inevitably hauls and his price goes through the roof.
And Gyökeres, also at 10% ownership, is the vice-captain. But crucially, the model sees Isak with less than 5% ownership as a massive Salah replacement punt.
The idea being he becomes Liverpool's talisman during AFCON.
It's a big call, but the data sees the opportunity.
And what other low-owned gems are in there?
We've got Kuna from Man United at 7.9 million, Gordon from Newcastle at 7.2 million, who just keeps delivering, and Cherki again, that cheap route into the City attack.
And there's also Marino from Arsenal.
A bargain at 6 million and only 3.9% ownership. The model thinks he's got a strong chance to start against Wolves. And in defense, Gvardiol, O'Reilly, and Lacroix are the strong differential picks.
Right. Okay. Let's pivot to the biggest tactical puzzle hitting everyone this week, the 5 new free transfers. We've had so many people asking, why have they suddenly appeared, and what should I do with them?
So this is a big structural change for this season. The game admins announced preseason that to handle the huge impact of AFCON, every manager would get their transfers topped up to 5 for Game Week 16.
It's a massive temporary boost designed to help you navigate those departures without taking huge points hits.
Okay, so let's talk mandatory action first. This is critical.
You must use at least one of them.
If you don't use any, you'll go back to having only 1 free transfer next game week. You essentially throw away 3 precious transfers.
And second, and this is the urgent, time-sensitive bit, you need to transfer out your AFCON-bound players immediately.
Right now, before their prices drop. They are gone until the end of January. Holding them is just throwing away team value.
So let's list the key departures you need to address, focusing on the most well-owned players.
You've got Sarr at Crystal Palace, Ndiaye at Everton, Iwobi at Fulham.
And the big ones, Salah at Liverpool, Mbeumo at Man United, Marmoush at Man City.
And even Wan-Bissaka from West Ham in defense.
So the tactical question is how you use those 5 transfers. Do you go all out on attack, or do you downgrade someone like Salah to fix 3 or 4 other holes in your squad?
And to help you make that choice, here are the FPL Cheat Sheet Tools top suggested replacements based on expected points.
For the lower-priced midfielders, so replacing players in that 6.4 to 6.6 million range.
The top 3 are, number 1, Cherki at 6.4 million from City. 2 is Merino at 6 million from Arsenal. And 3 is Enzo at 6.6 million from Chelsea. Merino is the real budget punt there.
Okay, and if you need a mid-price midfielder to replace Mbeumo or Marmoush,
the model is heavily favoring Arsenal assets because of that fixture run. Eze, Rice, or Ødegaard. The data is irresistible there.
And now for the big one, the Salah replacement. The strategy here is key.
Are you selling him to fund one other premium or downgrading him to fund multiple moves? If you're going for a direct premium alternative.
The data suggests number 1 is Palmer at 10.3 million from Chelsea. Number 2 is Saka at 10.2 million from Arsenal. And number 3 is Fernandes at 9 million from United.
And finally, those cheap defenders, like a Wan-Bissaka replacement. Use one of your 5 transfers to grab a stable bench option.
The top budget picks with the best expected points are Alderate at 4 million, Steve at 3.9 million, and Rodon at 4.1 million. Use those transfers wisely.
Fantastic. It's a huge opportunity for managers who act quickly and intelligently.
And that brings us to the end of this Game Week 16 deep dive. Make sure you're following FPL Cheat Sheet on X for all those real-time updates, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube and Spotify so you never miss a briefing.
And before we go, here's a final thought for you to really think about this week. Given the catastrophic failure of budget concentration in Game Week 15,
and the overwhelmingly strong showing of the differential and free hit picks, which prioritized spreading the value,
is Game Week 16 the tipping point? Are we truly in a new FPL meta where the data dictates we move away from those high ownership heavy hitters? Are you brave enough to bet big on the differential value wave and potentially transform your entire season?
Good luck in Game Week 16. May your arrows be green and your expected points convert fully to actual points.
Have a good game week.